Salute and thank you, NERDSoul. Oh yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go. You man, look, best believe it. Oh, you better take care of yourself. You better say your prayers before you go to bed, cause we talking about sinners. Oh yeah, and we ain't by ourselves. I got my homie Kaiser on the line. What's up,
Yo, what up?
man? Look, we had the opportunity to see Sinners yesterday, and I will say that this review will not be spoiler free. Nah, nah. Now we're gonna give you a spoiler free section at the beginning, but after that we're gonna talk about this movie because I ain't got time for me making two, three, four videos. Look, we doing one. All right. So I'm gonna throw it to Kaiser. Or throw it to Kaiser. In a spoiler free fashion, how do you feel about Sinners? Like coming out the film, how do you feel about it?
It was great. I'm still having a hard time trying to find out how to explain it because you, what you walked into the expecting from the film, you get, and what you don't expect is something that you usually don't get from this type of film.
I get you. I get you.
And I really feel like, Ryan Coogler constantly like he sets himself apart as an auteur. He knows what he's doing. So, you know what I'm saying? When he puts a film together, it's an event. So kudos, and I will be singing it again.
All right, word up, word up. Okay, on my side, I definitely didn't expect what I got. I was
Mhm.
surprised from a lot of the segments, especially pertaining to like our main, I guess, our main heroes that we're watching and looking after.
Mhm.
I assumed it was going to be a sort of survive the night film. So that's what we got, but we got a lot more than what I expected. So I did like it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, if a movie can make me forget about, you know, I gotta, do the laundry when I get home. I gotta do the dishes, or I forgot I gotta fill the tank full of gas or something. If it can make me forget all of the daily stresses and regular stuff, it's already done a good job. So it did
Yeah.
that, and then it also threw in some curveballs for me where I was like, oh, okay, I did not see that one coming. I did not expect you to be able to do that, and I'm glad about it. I'm glad, you know what I'm saying? It's that's what's up. So yes, I'll definitely check this out again. Um, and I'll definitely put it in my lineup of like survive the night type of films. Because this is a good one. This is a good one that I enjoyed a lot. I have heard from I think my brother-in-law did not like it. I'm surprised.
Really?
I'm interested to hear his thoughts on it, but he said he didn't like it. But I am interested to hear his thoughts. But guys, as far as from now, we are done with the spoiler piece.
Yeah, and or non-spoiler piece.
Yeah, we're done with the non-spoiler piece because we get
In
into the
my
spoiler
opinion,
time.
Sinners, in my opinion, it's an instant classic for me, and it like you said, it falls into your like survive the night like category, but for me it falls into like the classic vampire, like go-to vampire movies for me.
Gotcha.
So like for people who was born in the 80s, you grew up with like Lost Boys was one of them, and then
Yeah.
like I put this in that same category. So if I had like a stack of go-to vampire movies, that's like, yeah, there's some jump scares in there, whatever, but it's just like it's a good movie to watch.
Yeah.
It's just a good movie to just have like,
It's
oh,
a messed up,
watching
it's a
are you
messed
watching
up
Sinners?
movie
Yeah,
in
I just
some
got it
parts
on.
too.
I'm gonna just play that joint. It's
Yeah.
one of those movies you can just turn on, and like you walk past it, and then you'll like stop for a scene. You're like, oh, this is a good part, and you'll just stand there and watch it, and then go, all right, I'm gonna go back and do something else, and then come back to it. But oh, it's on this part, all right, and then you kind of get lost in the scene, and you can walk away. Like, it's that type of movie.
Yeah, especially when it comes to all of the pieces once we're set up. And so since we're past spoil time right now, I'll throw it before we get into like the specific characters. I'll say I'll throw this to you real quick. What's your favorite? What was your favorite moment of this film, if you have one?
Favorite moment.
Because for me, the favorite moment was sort of like,
I don't think I have necessarily a favorite moment. I
all right,
like the way that Ryan Coogler did a lot of stuff.
gotcha.
Like, so in vampire movies, like I feel like vampires, I like when they're portrayed almost subtly to the point
Hmm.
where it's like, is this person dangerous? And then you find out that they're like, so like, all right, you know how they portray vampires in Blade 1 and 2, also in my
Yeah.
stack, uh, where like you don't really know they're vampires until like they open their mouth and they move
True.
differently.
True that.
And it's like, oh, I'm in danger now. Ryan does that with like the eyes, like having that reflection,
Hmm.
like that cat, like, reflection in the eyes, and then like the teeth, like it's subtle. And then I
Yeah.
like the way he played on like, in the movie, the vampires would drool when they're about to like, I guess, feed or turn somebody. And it was almost like he was playing up like there's this venom that they have in them to turn somebody. And so it's not really them
Yeah.
drooling. It's like it's the venom coming out like this. They about to inject you.
Yeah. It's like it was creepy and nasty the way that drool worked.
Yes.
Because it's like it's almost like they're salivating, like, oh, I'm so hungry. It is like, I'm
Yeah.
so close. But I mean, I ain't going front. If I was like a certain distance from, say, a chicken wing,
Hmm.
and
I mean, your mouth gonna water a little bit.
you know what, mouth going water just a little
It's
bit.
getting ready. It's like, oh, you about to,
Like, oh, snap.
you better get this chick.
It's good. But, or like when you cook something, it'd be like, all right, you gotta let it cool off. You'd be like, man, I ain't trying to wait for that cool off time because I'm
Yeah.
hungry now.
And
Like,
you
I
gotta
was
you gotta
hungry when I
breathe.
started
You gotta
cooking.
breathe in that air.
Yep, you gotta
You
breathe
didn't
in that
wait.
food air. So that one of my favorite moments was actually not even about a vampire. There's
Mhm.
this tracking shot with the girl. There's two characters, the shopkeepers, and I'll see Bo Chow and
Oh,
Lisa
the
Chow.
continuous shot.
Yeah, there's a continuous tracking shot where she goes and gets her mom, and then her mom comes back to talk to Smoke, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, it
because
was
Smoke
smoke.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, talk back to Smoke, and I was just like, this is cool. Like, I like this. Like, it's just, creative the way he ran it. And I mean, we've
Now
seen
he
tracking
definitely
shots
had a lot of dope
before,
shots. Yeah.
but yeah, I just like that. Like, she went to get her mom, and we went with her, and then she took over the register. Her mom came back, and we came back with her, and I just like I dug that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was something that I really really enjoyed. It's just like the creativity in that shot, and then of course in other shots, but that one specifically, like that one stood out to me. But I guess since you brought up the vampires, I want to talk about I guess the subtle way in which they lay out our villains. I guess to a certain degree. In the beginning, we hear about being able, people that can use song, and some would call griot, and so like Choctaw called them this, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And so they laid the groundwork, like, okay, cool, certain types of music or certain types of vibes or energy can actually attract them, right? Then later on, when we see our main vampire for the film, and I can't remember his name. I'll find it soon. His main.
Remick.
Oh, Rennick.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Two M's. Remick.
All right, Remick. Sorry. So when we find him, he's
Mm-hmm.
actually being chased by Choctaw Indians,
Right.
and it's clear that they know what he is
Mm-hmm.
because the sun's going down, and when they're trying to like negotiate their way into this lady's house to like get him, one of the I guess like soldiers or lieutenants is like, hey, look, the sun's
Yeah.
going down, we gotta get back, like before he's able to exhibit all his power and everything, let's get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clear that not only are they already up on vampires, but they're it seems actively hunting them, or
Yeah,
at least actively
like they know what the
guarding.
deal is. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though we find out, what's her name? Let me see if I can put. It's not. I cannot remember her name, but she's on Lovecraft Country. She's also in Loki. Keep forgetting her name, but she knows about them, but even she doesn't think, like they're here. Like that's something that she heard a story about. Kind of like when you hear like,
Yeah, because it's
oh,
passed
something
down.
happened. Yeah, so this is something that's happened years ago or somewhere else. It's not something that's happening here.
Yeah.
So it's clear that the Choctaw Indians are already in this area. Like, no, we know they're around here somewhere, pockets or
Well,
little
they knew that
lions
this
dens or
guy
something.
was one. Because
Yeah,
this guy is actually he's a vampire that's from Ireland. And like
yeah,
they kind
he
of like
did
hint
say
to
that.
it in the storyline that he's like not from here. And he's trying to get back to his lands or whatever. So he's like he's stuck here. And then he keeps mentioning that Sammy, he feels like Sammy has the gift of
Yeah,
of music to get him back.
yeah, because he definitely said that he was able to like bring. Can't remember if he said like something like memories or spirits or something back that he hadn't heard in a long time or something like that.
Mhm.
And we kind of see that in motion with another scene that we'll talk about later. But we see kind of how that power of the music and like how close he is to it can kind of attract that darkness sometimes, because in
Yeah,
the beginning we're like, this is great, it can provide healing, this, that, and the third, but it can also attract evil.
yeah,
um and just his slow coming on to the family, that we see the first two people, the clan members, the way he comes on to them is kind of, he's it's not that vampire that's just like all out crazy. It's really this guy's kind of weird, but I guess he's okay, kind of
mm,
thing. And especially when they're trying to negotiate their way into the home. So I thought that was cool.
well, he picks up on more like subtleties. You can tell he's been through this before. Like
Yeah,
he's a well seasoned vampire. He's probably been around for a couple centuries.
yeah.
Um,
So he knows
so
how to like get inside the
he was like,
house.
"Oh, you a clan member?" I was like, "All right, let me tell you who's chasing." He's like, "It's
Yeah,
Indians, and they killed my wife, and they gonna pick up on it because it's like, oh, it's a white guy. Oh, they killed his
there's a
wife.
white
Oh, it's Indian.
guy.
We don't
We
like
already
we don't
don't
like
like
Indians."
Indians.
Yeah, so it was
Yep,
like
slam dunk.
it's like, oh, you part of the clan? Like, yeah, let me work on that a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, we already don't like Indians. Cool. I can play up on that thing.
Yeah,
And even how we get the turn of cornbread, when cornbread when
Coogler was
cornbread is
trying.
turned, the way he's trying to get inside of the club, honestly, it's it's very it's very subtle and very conversational, because if you think, like, if it was me, he'd be like, all right, well, let me come on in and do that. You just be like, all right, man, let's roll. In your mind, you're just thinking that's just a regular conversation until I gotta find her name. Until she's there, she's
Oh
like,
well,
whoa,
in
whoa,
the
whoa.
story, her name was Annie.
All right, Annie. Until Annie's like, whoa, 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 hold up real quick.
Yeah.
Why
Why
you
can't you
can't
just
why
walk
you
in
can't just
here?
walk up in here? Why,
It's
why not?
like you've
So
been in and out all day.
yeah, I did like the laying of the groundwork of the vampires. Um, so I guess we could go through. I want to talk about Annie first, because she kind of gives us our download. Every horror movie needs the download. There's characters that have no idea what's going on, and there's always that character that's like, all right, look, this is what we're going to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
One thing I love about Ryan Coogler, before we talk about Annie, Ryan Coogler does not waste time with the character that doesn't believe, like the delusional character. Because a lot of horror movies have that delusional character, like, this isn't happening. They're not vampires don't exist. That character isn't here.
Yeah, that's
So
true. Like once she
yeah,
broke it down, everybody was just like,
Yep.
All right, well, it sounds like you're real knowledgeable. So what do we need to do?
Yep.
There was
And then
no,
all of them
because
like,
everyone sees it happen. So if you have
yeah.
that person who's gonna be like, this isn't happening, he's like, all right, well, if it's not happening, go get in your car and drive home.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Oh man, like, I ain't going out there. But Annie, when we meet her, okay, so the great thing about the direction and the kind of show don't tell is when we meet her, she's working at her shop and smoke is this yeah, smoke comes
Yeah,
up.
smoke.
Not stack. Smoke comes up and we see him stop by a little grave with a little handprint, which already lets you know like this is a sad situation because
Mhm.
handprints aren't that small unless you know.
Yeah,
So he lays
and it's a
flowers
small
there.
grave. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's we hear him get flowers. We're thinking, oh, he probably taking some flowers to his girl, some girl that he left back in the day, and he lays them at this grave. So we're already like, oh, so okay, is it's some type of child? It might not be his child, but it's a child.
yeah.
And then we get to meet Annie. She's working in the shop. She helps out the kids and everything. We can see that she helps out the community. She cares about the people, and they're like showing this, and we see how their relationship is strained between their interaction. But you can see that she still loves him, and he still loves her because, of course, there's still that tie with the child, and also that pain and anger behind it. So Annie was awesome. Annie was dope. The way she was written and the way she played it out,
Mhm.
like shouts to her. Like it
Yeah,
could have been, it could have came off really corny, but it was awesome the way they played her out.
well, there was a lot of elements in this movie that could have been corny, and none of it, in my opinion, came off corny. Like even like when he did the music, like the big music scene. There was a lot
Yeah.
of music played through the movie, but like the big music scene where they dig a little deeper into the power of music and the people who have the talent to be able to
Hmm.
not just communicate emotion, but like also like dig up something that's kind of like intangible in music, and like what and trying to visually play out what that feels like in the movie. That could have went wrong real fast, and I feel like, in my personal opinion, like it didn't. It
Yeah.
played very well, and then the way that it illustrated how like what he explained at the beginning, right? The narration in the beginning, where it's like, all right, this can draw up a lot of great feelings, but it can also
Yep.
open the door to, individuals or more evil, nefarious spirits or whatever. And it did that.
Unfortunately.
It illustrated that whole thing gracefully, and I thought that was dope.
Yeah. The past, the present, the future, the different styles coming together, how the
Mhm.
music affected or how each person received it slightly differently.
Mhm.
It was really impressive how they pulled that off and made it seem surreal
Yeah.
while also staying on the main character of Sammy and pushing that forward.
Mhm.
Because shoot, Sammy is not only an awesome musician, awesome singer, but he's surrounded by awesome musicians and singers.
Yeah.
And the music in this show, I did not. It's could we semi count this as like a musical vampire film? Like, cause it's kind of close.
You
There's a
you
lot of musical
could
numbers.
you could, but I wouldn't put it as that. It
I'm
just
pretty
so
sure. I'm
happens
pretty
to
sure
have.
hardcore musical fans would be like, no.
Nah, yeah, I wouldn't put it as that. But the way he integrated it was
Yeah, it was.
very well done. Like it didn't feel like when you go see a musical, you know what you're gonna see.
Yeah, it's like
This
it's
has
just making it
musical
sound like
elements
I
that
love
just so
this
happen to
apple,
be
and then the
tied
music
in.
starts.
Yeah, and I just think it was just dope.
Yeah,
The
the
way it was
way they
done.
the way they integrated it was awesome. And shouts to what Ludwig once again, like
Ludwig just ready to work.
he's like,
Oh,
all right,
Ryan, you
man,
doing something? All right, cool.
all
Disney, you
right,
doing
I guess I got to
something?
do music again.
Bet, yeah,
So,
whatever. Lucasfilm? Oh, okay.
like,
I guess I'm doing that. Dude, just be
so yeah,
working.
the music here, the singers, Like from the piano to the harmonica to the shoot, even the banjo, even the vampire banjo players. I was like, all
Hmm.
right, you got a little, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
That was. I mean, I guess that's the benefits of being I think him, Ryan Coogler and Ludwig. I think used to be roommates back in college.
Oh word.
So
Okay.
that's why, like
It makes sense.
all of Ryan's films has Ludwig being like the musical director because the
Makes sense. Makes
he's
sense.
like, you do music, I direct. I was like, all right, so anything I do, you just own it. And
Word.
then,
Word.
so another thing I was thinking about, not to divert too much,
No, no,
when
neither.
Childish Gambino released the song or the video for Little Foot, Big Foot,
Ah,
it's
yeah.
reminiscent of the time and the scenario of this film. And knowing that Ludwig is a longtime producer of Childish Gambino,
Mm.
if this was somehow influential to him making that video while this movie was being shot,
Huh.
if there was like any crossover, if he was like, oh yeah, I'm filming this movie with
Interesting.
Ryan, it's like, oh man, it's a really good scenario. That gives me an idea for a music video. And then you see this movie and you're like, this did kind of probably happen around the same time.
Yeah.
I
This it just
wonder.
that movies take longer to make, but
Yeah.
yeah, this the music in here was incredible. Way better. I didn't expect for music. I mean, with seeing that there was a juke joint in the trailer, I figured we
Mhm.
were gonna get like one song. You know, in some movies they'll have like the club scene, and you'll get like one
Yeah.
song with like the star or the kind of co-star. You'll get the
Mhm.
one song, and they'll kind of move on. And in this, we get a song in the car on the way to the train. You get another song at the train. Then you get like three songs at the club.
Yeah. You get
You
about
get
three songs per club. You
shoot, you
get
get
one
this
major
little light of
song, and then
mine
there's
at the
like,
beginning of the movie.
yeah.
So in all, there might be like six or seven songs, maybe more
Mhm.
in this film, or if not songs like musical parts where like maybe there's no lyrics, but
But there's music like integrated and
yeah,
intertwined
there's
throughout like the
music.
whole
Someone's
film.
actively playing music as the character.
Yeah.
Um, I was not ready or expecting that. And of course, seeing the opening, and I guess I'll jump into like the story a little bit. Seeing the opening when Sammy walks into the church, and he's all bloody and everything, and it goes to one day earlier. I was actually worried at first because I generally
All
don't
this
like
supposed to happen in a
movies.
day?
Yeah, one, all this supposed to happen in a day, and also I generally don't like stories or movies that start at the end.
Well,
Because I feel like
but
and
then
a
you
lot of
find
a lot of
out it's
people that
not really the end though.
yeah, it's not really the end.
Yeah.
But in the story, usually a lot of people handle it in a way where okay, we know everything, so like the stakes are kind of gone because we already
Yeah.
know what's going on. But here, the way it's set up, we don't know what happens to the other people when stuff starts breaking up. We just
Yeah.
know that he apparently made it out.
Hmm.
Um, but we don't know if the vampires were able to get away or something like that. But when it flashed to one day earlier, I was worried like, oh man, I hope this doesn't suck. And as we start watching it, I'm like, you know what? This is a long day. And days, man.
Well,
Um,
also what Ryan does, and I think the reason why this part was so successful is he also allows you, like, all right, this guy survives, right? Because
yep.
at the beginning he walks back in the church, whatever. But he allows you to sort of get attached to these characters that you start to like find out more about, and they got a history and everything. You want to learn more about these people as the day leads up to the events that's about to happen at this juke joint. They even give you time of watching them interact and have a great time at the juke joint to be like, all right, well now I found out a little bit about these characters. Now I'm watching them have a great time. Now it's like I know something bad is about to happen. but now I'm so like tired to like seeing these characters interact with each other. I want to see more of that interaction and more of that stuff play out. And so, look, when the stuff happens, now you kind of like, well, I know he's gonna survive, but what
Yeah.
about so and so? What about so and so? What about so and so? What's so and so?
And even though we knew he survived, we knew apparently it wasn't good because when we meet him, he's he's definitely bloodied up. He got a
He done
big
been
old
through.
scar on his face and everything. Like he is toe up.
Yeah,
Like when we meet him, and but it does a good job of like setting the scene of him being young, the kind of like the cool older cousins come back to town.
hmm
You easily see that his dad is not too keen on him. You know what I'm saying? Because of course he's a preacher man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, smoke smoke stack twins.
yeah,
They know they in them streets. So
yeah.
honestly, as a father, he's doing his job of being like, you need to stay away from them boys. I know
hmm
they're your cousins. I know you love them. I know in their way they love you, but they into some stuff you don't need to be into. And even though they kind of brush him off, later on you see Smoke tell Sammy basically don't get in this life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you take your butt back to church.
hmm
You go to whatever that city they were talking about. Go to that city
Yeah,
and
he
be
even tries to like
upstanding
threaten
black
him in
folk.
that direction, and Sammy was like,
Yeah,
"Nah, I know what I want. I want this music thing."
and he had a good point. He was like, I know a lot of musicians, ain't none of them happy.
hmm
And he was like, you need to go with the good, upstanding black folks. We be robbing and stealing. We shoot people in the middle of the street,
Yeah,
like for a
and
perceived
then
slight, because
well,
they
and then
hadn't
on
fully
like on
stolen yet.
principle, because he already shot the one dude that he
Yeah,
knew
he
to
just he
try
was
to
like,
rob the
you know
truck,
what, I gotta
and
shoot.
then like you see him like kind of like go through in his mind a little bit, and he's like,
He's
"Dang, I
like,
gotta
all
shoot
right.
him." I didn't pay for their medical treatment because it's like just on principle alone, I have to shoot
He's
him
like, man, look,
because
I
I
gotta
can't
shoot.
have him go somewhere else and be like, I got away with almost stealing from the smokestacks
Yeah,
twins.
I
He's like,
can't let you do that. I can't let you do
I
me
gotta
like that.
shoot you, but listen, get out of the street. I'm gonna take care of your medicals, but I gotta shoot you. I need
Like,
to do
I gotta shoot the guy. I gotta.
something.
So it's it's clear that he's letting. It's clear that we know who the kind of man his dad is, where Sammy is in his life, where the Smokestack twins are, how they feel about his dad, because we find out that they are related because their dads are. Sammy's dad was the younger brother of
Yeah,
their
and
father.
then yeah, Smokestack's father was the older brother.
So, they probably, to a certain degree, came up super close.
hmm
So, when they left, it's probably like, oh man, I can't wait till they get back kind of thing.
hmm
And then even remembering or even hearing the history of the guitar and then learning the true history of the
The
guitar,
actual history, yeah.
but knowing those things help kind of ingratiate us to them. Or even like with Stat, when they go to the when they go to the when they go to the rail yard or the train
hmm
yard, or I mean the train station, and Hailee Steinfeld, I'm trying to remember her name. I'll pick her name up in a second.
Mary.
When Mary looks at him, and Sammy's like, "Hey man, there's some white girl looking at you." He's like, "Oh no, 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 no."
It's like, oh shit.
And we find out about their relationship. So it's a quick crash course in relationships, but at the same time, it works because all of us, to a certain degree, all of us have like gone somewhere for a while and then come back.
hmm
Whether it's, coming back to family members or something, all of us have done something where we've gone and come back and we've been like, I kind of don't want to, I
Yeah.
don't want to really see that person, or, I don't want to be around this person. God. So those kind of things come into play. But then we have so much layered on. We have the familial relationships. We have the relationships between Annie and Smoke and Mary and Stack. And
hmm
then we find out that apparently after Smoke and Stack's dad was gone, Mary's mom took care of them.
Yes.
So it's like, whoa, y'all are super tight. Like
Yeah.
y'all are like, for y'all, especially for her to say like, I'm only in town because my mother died, and y'all ain't come back for her, for Annie
Like
to
she
not be there.
knows them. Like it's not
Yeah,
like everybody else is scared of. She's like, I practically grew up with these dudes.
yeah, she like, all right. But the funny thing is, in every hood has that dude that would probably shoot you if you cough too loud.
Mhm.
But that same person has someone in the neighborhood that's like, I raised you, boy. Like, what you talking about? Like, you don't
Yeah.
scare me. Or like, I know your mom. Like, I'll go. Like, what you talking about?
Like I know you know
Like, I
me.
taught you how to catch a baseball. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like,
Yeah.
because these people aren't raised in a bubble. They're not they grow up. Something happens. Usually around 6th to 8th grade-ish age,
Mhm.
something happens where it's like, okay, they going to the streets. Like this dude is going to be he's going to be hustling, or he going to be shooting, or he going to be stealing, he going to be doing something like that, or this guy's going to get a regular job and mind his business and not hurt nobody, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, so seeing those relationships play out was cool, man. Like Ryan did a great job of just bringing these people together in a way where it's like, oh, it's kind of a homecoming for these guys that are like, they're kind of hometown heroes slash
Mhm.
thugs, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely you know infamous. I
Yeah,
guess you could say. Like
yeah.
people either know them like have decent memories of them, or they know them like, oh, stay away from smokestack
Like,
twins,
yeah, don't mess with. Because even he said, do
or
you,
just stay
to
out
the
their
little
way.
girl, he was like, you know who I am? She was like, uh-huh. He was like, all right, if you see anybody come, you just lay on the horn. So like those kind of things are awesome with setting those characters up. And then even to him teaching that little girl, like,
Like
you
how
need
to
to negotiate
negotiate.
your price.
Yeah.
Like you can't just accept whatever.
Hmm.
You gotta say, like if I say 10 cents, she said 50. He
Yeah.
said 20, she said 12. He's like, cool. And like, so it's like you get something. And then we
Well, and
see
then you
that
see it
play
play
out.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then Grace, I think, was it Grace Chow?
Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
Grace. What's her name? But yeah, keep going.
yeah,
Sorry.
Grace Chow.
Yeah.
Because he's like, all right, because he talks to her husband first, which is Bo Chow, because they own the two shops,
Hmm.
which is across the street, which had that
She was
long
her
tracking
face is
shack.
mad familiar. She was in
She's been in
something
mad
else.
movies. She's been in mad movies.
Yeah, she's
Um,
something relate something, but yeah, like
but like she shows up because Smoke asked her to paint the sign for their Juke Joint, and then she immediately goes into like negotiation. So it was like he's like, "I'll pay you X amount." She's like, "Nah, we're gonna do this amount." She's like, "I can't go below this." And they had that like it's real quick,
that.
and then she's
Yeah,
like,
it's like a
"Cool."
real
And he's
quick
like,
back and forth.
"Throw in these
And
flowers, and we'll do." I think it was like $14 or something like that. It ended
yeah, I
up
think it was
on.
1450, I think. Oh, and shouts out to her. The lady's name is
Lee
Lee
June.
June Lee, and I
Mhm.
might be screwing it up, but it's not on purpose. And she was Grace. She was the prophet chick. She was the chick that was a prophet in Evil, in the TV show Evil. That's where I know
Okay.
her face from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think she's
she's
been
dope.
like a
She's dope.
character actor in a lot of movies, but hopefully a lot of these people get more work because they've been kind of like character actors in other movies. Like
Yeah.
even Remick, like I remember seeing him in like other like character actor type roles, or supporting
Word.
roles. But everybody like showed up in this show,
Definitely.
for sure.
Like even when I saw the guy who played the harmonica, we've seen him in tons of films. Like
You
we
talking
see
about
him in tons of stuff.
what are you talking
And
about?
the guy who plays the harmonica,
Delroy Lindo?
yeah,
Oh
Delroy.
yeah, I mean
He's been in tons of stuff.
he's like black Hollywood royalty in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
he's
he's
always like the older black dude with some sense.
yeah, he's been in tons of stuff. And to see him here play that role still of kind of like having some sense but being like the drunk, but in a way where it's like, don't be like me,
Yeah,
but he still had some sense, because even when it came to that door with Cornbread, he like, why you can't come in?
yeah.
So all of these things come together to bring about this party that we're having tonight for the opening of the Juke Joint.
Mhm.
And we see them running like Smoke and Stack are like, we gonna have to split up. And I was like, good, that'll help you for the acting roles. So it's like we had to split up. They go do their thing, and when they come together at night, you know what I'm saying, they got catfish cooking. They got like we got beer, we got catfish, we got music.
Yeah,
That's all you need.
I do want to talk about Michael B. Jordan playing both of these characters well.
All
Uh,
right.
Obviously, they're two separate, very separate personalities. Um, but the way they did it, I know there was like some extra like camera apparatuses that he had to wear. He had to change out his clothes and change back into new clothes and put on the camera apparatus to make it seem like he's interacting with himself.
Yeah.
And the way they did it, it looked like he was two
Yeah.
people.
We've come a
Um,
long way from Double Impact.
yeah, yeah. Because like I mean, he was passing himself cigarettes. He was
Yeah.
hugging himself, and it just the way it was shot, it was like, yo, Michael B. Jordan, he's two people today. I don't know
Yo,
how they did it. They
straight up.
cloned him for a day, and then I don't know, that clone expired. I don't know, but it was dope the way he played up both characters. Um, that was probably my favorite. You could tell Smoke was just no nonsense
Yeah,
about the
Smoke did not
business.
play.
Like,
And
listen, you
Stack
came
was
in with
like,
this money. I want this money.
man, when
Da-da-da.
they came in with that wood money that only spins in like one place,
Yeah,
but that was a great storytelling element to kind of let us know, if we didn't know, kind of how money was in these places in the deep South. Like, we're still Jim Crow South. We're
it's
not at the
tokens.
we're not at the U.S. legal tender that we are now. Not saying that money did not exist then; it did, but
Yeah, but the
there
way
was
they
still,
got paid.
yeah, there was
Um,
still a lot of small places where money just wasn't. It just wasn't like as widely, at least widely obtained or used. So they're like,
mm,
okay, well, I know your time and your work is worth something, so I'll give you this, and you can spend this here with me, or spend this, around town or something like that.
yeah.
So, but yo, Smoke was like, "What is this?
He said, "What is this wood nickel? Like we
I
came from
don't want this
Chicago. We
wooden
just came back
stuff."
from Chicago with cash. I want cash. I want
I
money I
do
can
like the
spend
fact that
anywhere."
he said Chicago ain't nothing but Mississippi with tall buildings. I was like, uh-huh. Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of situations, even now, where people are like, oh, racism only happens in the South. It's like,
yeah,
bruh,
bullshit.
bruh,
Like
bruh.
it just wears different clothes and speaks
Yeah,
differently.
it talks a little different, but it's,
We've had this conversation
yeah,
before. It's like when you come back to like the South, it's like it's just that racism's like it's up front, it's in your
yeah.
face. You
It's
know who
like,
you're
all right,
dealing
we'll
with.
let you know up front. We don't let you play out three to
To
six
then
months
find out,
before.
oh,
Yeah,
this person doesn't really mess with me because they're like racist. So but
yeah,
they play it subtly. You come back to
yeah.
the South, it's like, nah, boy, I
It's
don't
like,
like you. And it's
yeah,
like,
it's
all right,
like
cool.
straight
Yeah,
up.
you racist.
It's like, cool. You hate
Stay from
me,
over
no
there.
doubt. Cool. You stay
Yeah,
over there. I'm gonna stay over here. We alright. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Like, don't try to intermingle and hide it.
I'm like, I prefer the straight up brand.
Yeah, I like it. I like it up front. I don't
Let
like
me
the
know.
hidden
Let me
joint.
know what I'm working with when I come in the door.
Yeah.
But but seeing that even translates to how Smoke deals with the purchase of the mill that they get to become the Juke Joint, which is a great example of showing us the South at that time, because we're in 1935, so we're Jim Crow South, and they buy this old, I guess it's an old sawmill or old, whatever it is, but we find out that it was a slaughterhouse at least at one point. And even the vampire that in this version of vampires, they not only have a collective memory, but they also share collective pain as well.
Yeah.
um which is something that you don't always get. Usually you just get the collective memory, you don't usually get the collective pain.
Well, I think, yeah,
um
because, yeah, this one stems from the vampire who, uh, like, changed uh,
yeah,
the whole, I guess,
true.
vampire clan or whatever. Yeah.
So like when he says, hey, I've absorbed their memory, so they're coming back to kill you, they're going to take this place back. Like you gave them their money and they're coming back to kill you. So we get that feeling of like, okay, it's very clear there's sharecropping going on. There's still plantations to a certain degree. The black area is the black area. We ain't see not a one white person there. And then when
Nah.
black people came to that train station, you could see white people looking at them like, what are you doing here? So it was played in a way where they weren't saying like, this is racism time, but they just let you know like this is just the daily walk of someone who had to live in this time. Like they
Yeah.
had to get up super early. There was a quota of cotton to get, and I'm pretty sure they weren't benefiting from it. I'm sure whoever, was above them somewhere was actually benefiting from it. Um, and you see that when the guy sold them the mill, he called them boy. And very random tidbit if you didn't know, the reason that man is a colloquial term, like what's up man, how's it going,
Mhm.
black men started that because they were tired of being called boy, so they
Ooh.
called each other man as a
Okay.
respect thing. That's how that became a thing, like what's up man, how you doing man, that's why. But anyway,
Huh.
so yeah, but anyway, this they call him boy, and I think Smoke goes to reach for his piece, and the white dude acts like he's going to reach, and then
Like,
Stack reaches too. Like, look,
like Stack
hey,
got that long brass knuckle knife.
yeah,
It's
he
like, and
like,
he
look,
comes up behind him, and it's like, listen, before you can
like, look,
even move your arm, Smoke gonna
yeah,
shoot you, Stack on Stack.
yeah. It's like, look, best thing you can do is take this money, and like they said, get on across that line, leave us alone from now on.
Yeah.
So,
He,
so,
oh, and then he warned him. He said, if we see you
yep,
or any
hmm
of your clan, best friends or whatever
hmm
show up, I'm killing
chitty
all
chitty
of
bang bang.
them.
And we get a payoff for that. That's the
Yeah.
cool thing. We get it because when the after the vampires are gone, there's a shot in the trailer where he's shooting
Looks like a
not a
Tommy gun.
Gatling gun, but it's like a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
But it looks
With the
it
drum
looks
on
like
it and
a
everything.
like sort of like a bolt action rifle, but a Tommy gun as well. So
Yeah.
anyway, we see him shooting it. So I was like, oh, maybe that was a shot in the trailer that was just there to look cool.
Yeah, because they kept mentioning the truck, which means
Yeah,
they got their like high powered ammunition and guns in the
yeah,
truck. He's like, you don't need to go to the truck. You don't need to go to the truck. By the
yeah.
time
So
all the vampires are gone, he went to the truck.
so I'm thinking that's a shot that maybe it was just to look cool because Marvel does a lot of that stuff where they'll put something in the trailer. It's like this is not in the movie, or it
Mhm.
like looks completely different. So then they pay us off for the clan scene, and I was like, oh yes,
So what? So we skipped over a part. So
yeah, oh yeah,
there's
yeah. I
a
was gonna
part
come
when
back to that, but yeah,
Remick, I love the way Ryan. It seems like this is
yeah,
something that Ryan likes to do with whoever is the antagonist in the film.
hmm
Isn't really the antagonist in the film, so to speak.
true,
He's
yeah,
he actually is like he did speak the truth. He's like, listen, I gotta kill you, but you can live forever,
yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever
I'm
you're
actually giving you a
seeking,
gift.
yeah, he's like, whatever you're seeking, you're not gonna seek it the way you've been trying to go about it, but I can give it to you. And he wasn't lying. It's just that you're
Yeah,
gonna be this kind of demonic thing
yeah.
that,
You're gonna
of
be
course, you're gonna
cursed,
look.
like Annie said. You'll be cursed to be like trapped here as an
Mhm.
evil, with all this hatred and stuff.
But he was selling him some truth, and he was like, listen, yeah, they sold you this place, but like I know for a fact that they about to come back in the morning and kill all of y'all if y'all still here. That's the
Yep,
plan. And then they're gonna get their building back, and then they got your money for it.
yep. They'll
So
just kill
that's what's
two
gonna
black
happen.
dudes, and in this day and age, it'll be, oh, he disrespected us, and so we had to kill him, kind of thing. Or
They don't
he
really
had a
even need an
gun and we
excuse.
had to kill him. Or they'll
They
be
be
like,
like,
we don't know where they went. They just left the place.
he could just be like, he raped my wife. He'd be like,
Yeah,
did he really
yep,
rape? No, not really, but I can take your word for it, and y'all killed
yeah.
him.
They'll be
Yeah,
like, sure he did.
justice. Sure, write it off. But they
So
show up. They show up that morning after all the vampires are killed, and Smoke is obviously still alive, but he's
yep,
had time to prepare because he went to the truck.
yep. He was ready. Man, he had that grenade and all that. But yeah, you're right. Like Ryan Coogler plays this thing of like, yeah, there's a villain, but there's actually a overarching villain of like just Jim Crow South. Like that,
Like that was the
that's
real villain.
like this is like if this vampire did not exist, this group of white dudes was still going to show up this morning
Yeah.
to kill y'all.
Yeah.
Like that's that, that's just the realness of it. And the funny thing is, we were talking about yesterday, like the the trillions of dollars of land that has been either outright stolen or swindled from black people at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Land that was either promised to them or they had the land and they were like bullied out of it because like 20 white dudes showed up with rifles, so
Yeah, it was either that or
gotta
the
go.
swindling was
Or like they
like,
give
yeah,
you
you
this
got land and
contract that
then
they
yeah,
know you
and
can't
you don't know
fucking
what you're signing. Yeah.
yeah. So it's all of these things that like land was just stolen and from one way or another from black people at this time. And this is just another example of it. Like, okay, we took your money, we're gonna come back tomorrow morning with a group of guys. What are you gonna do? It's
Hmm.
two of y'all, it's like 30 of us. Or
Yeah.
it looked like 20, maybe 20 of them. So it's
It's
two of y'all,
like
it's 20 of us. But
the
man,
history that keeps repeating itself.
Smoke
Yeah.
said y'all ain't trained though.
Yeah. Smoke. So they show up because they think, we got the drop. They don't even know. Let's just roll up in here and just do our thing. It's like, oh, the door's locked. All of a sudden, Smoke's in the trees, taking shots.
Yo,
Pop, pop, pop. Dudes just
yo,
start dropping. They get behind the car. He comes out of the woods, still shooting. Then he pulls out the automatic and just starts lighting them up.
it was not pretty. Like they should have just stayed at home, man.
That was on some like, I know it's before Vietnam, but it was definitely like, on some Vietnam, like, I'm in the trees, you can't see me, I'm taking everybody out type of deal.
Like it was crazy. But yeah, the real villain was revealed. Like
Yeah, the real villain was racism and Jim Crow institutional racism and just being able, especially back then, being able to like just on a whim kill any black person and have like no repercussions for it.
yeah, it was just like, hey, he did it. And it was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
all right, sure.
I mean, they really even didn't really have a reason. I'm pretty sure they'll come up with a reason like
Yeah,
afterwards.
it was just
Somebody
like
come
we
asking.
just don't like him. So like
If
he's dead.
somebody comes asking, because probably one of his buddies was like, I don't know, chief of police.
Yeah,
or
because that's
something.
another thing. Those people forget that at this time, it's played off like the Klan or whatever the Klan changes its name to, whether it's Proud Boys or the Klan or whatever it is at the time, their new branding,
Or I mean, that
neo
was the
Nazis, whatever their new branding is, like it's played off like these people are just
slave
some
patrol,
wild,
which turned
crazy.
into the police.
Yeah, it's played off like these are like some wild, crazy, just insane, fringe element. It's like, no, these people were like lawyers and sheriffs. They were like, they were like the shoe salesmen. Like these were just the average people.
Mhm.
Like this was
Just,
a team
just
effort.
wake up and just be like, I
This
hate
is a
niggas.
team
I'm gonna
effort
shoot
of hatred.
niggas.
This
Why?
idea that like these were just some weird fringe guys that like nobody knew. They were just, I guess they were hatched out of an egg and no one knew them. They had no family members. Like no, these were just regular people in the community. Like they were like,
Y'all just gotta hate.
yeah, they were the bank teller, they were the sheriff, the judge, the judge's son, the I don't know, the bakery guy, all those guys. That's where
Bakery
they
guy.
came from.
What do you do? I'm the bakery
Starring bakery guy.
guy.
But all right, so with that, because I know I ain't trying to hold everybody forever. I know y'all be wanting 20-minute podcasts. No, I'm just playing. That's an inside joke. But I want to talk about the Juke Joint. So now
All
we got.
right.
I want to talk about the Juke Joint because we got it. It's ours. We in there. We got fish going. We got beer.
They got
Making
Irish
it go.
beer.
We
They
got money,
Italian wine.
and we got music.
Yeah.
Italian wine and Irish beer. And Mary was like,
oh, that
"Oh,
joint
wow."
from
She was
Chicago.
like, "You thought you could rob these people?" I mean, if you think about it,
I mean,
it
but they was
didn't
gonna
seem
find
like a
out.
bad idea.
Yeah, but she won't wrong. It's like sooner or later they're gonna put two and two
Yeah,
together,
so
and they're
yeah,
gonna go,
so I'm
oh,
like, oh, hold up.
who's missing?
Who's the
What's
people? Yeah.
missing?
All right,
Where'd they
so
go?
this is missing, and these two people aren't here.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask them.
Hmm.
Oh man, because it was rolling. I mean, it was just caking people off.
Yeah.
Oh, it was caking people off with that stolen money, boy. But here, Sammy, he learned a little something from his cousin.
Yeah.
Sammy starts punching above his weight, boy. At the train station, he meets this fine little Don Brizzle. All right.
Who's apparently married.
She said she was married. He said happily. I was like, Sammy, you know your daddy a preacher, right? Like,
So, well, it was enough to intrigue her.
look,
So,
she was like, boy, it was like, look, hey, Sammy, look, hey, all right.
Mm.
And then there's a scene, later on where, he goes to please her. And I was like, what? Sammy, you should be ashamed of yourself. But I mean, at the same time, I see you. like, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Stat was happy.
Yeah. Stat was like, yo. He told Grace to go check it out. Grace was like,
Yeah, I don't know why he said that.
he's like, yo, Grace, my boy. Grace
She's
was
like, keep an eye on. She's like, what do you mean keep it? Oh.
she's like, understood.
Like, I don't know why I'm at this door, but all right.
Like, man, look, man, she was like, let me get freshened up. He said, don't worry about that, girl. I got you. I was like, oh what? Because that's that all day dirt. All right, that
Yeah, I mean, it's
but I mean, we gonna let it slide. We gonna
in
let
the
it slide.
south. That's that southern heat and humidity.
That's the southern heat, that
She was
humidity.
like, I walked here.
Yeah, that humidity and the coagulation of the sweat. And I'm just saying, but you know what? We're gonna let it go. We're gonna let it go for right now. It's an all ages show, y'all. It's a family show. But you got the arguments over the money. You got the dude cheating at the dice table. Like, this is, for all intents and purposes, this
And he
place
cut
is working.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you gonna cheat and cut somebody?
Yeah. Cut somebody like they was wrong. Like, you
Yeah.
was the one.
And then you try to go after Smoke. It was like, you better
That wasn't gonna happen. He was like, yo, air this boy out. No.
get stomped out.
Yo, they stopped to the point where I was like, all right, man, like,
They stomped him to the beat.
yeah, I was like, bruh, I think he's got it. I think he's learned.
On this joint? They started dancing after that. They were just like, nah,
Man.
we finished stomping. Now we just kicking them on beat. So that's
Oh man, but just the energy around, like, they, the money that they're making or bringing in and stuff like that. The issue with Annie and Smoke, and then of course Stack and Mary. You got the singing going on. Like, this is a successful night. I mean, of course, money wise, he was like, we can't. But I mean, at the same time, I know it's not sustainable to be taking wooden nickels. But Stack did say, hey, this is just the first night. You know what I'm saying? Let them have a good time. Let them come here. Because Stack, it seems like Stack was the brother that was always like.
But he also understands. He understood, because at the time, they probably didn't have a term for this. It's like he understood marketing.
Yeah.
He said, listen, they're going to come here, they're going to have a great time, they're going to go back, and they're going to talk about how they felt great.
Yep.
The time they had, how great food was, da-da-da. Let them have that. Then we can focus on making sure, like, hey, we only accepting cash here. You keep your wooden nickels.
I know you got the wooden nickels, but we don't accept wooden nickels here. I get it, but we can't spend that here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we or maybe do something where it's like one night a week where we accept them, you know what I'm saying? But we can't, we run on cash, you know what I'm saying? Oh man. I mean, I can't go to the gas station and be like, hey man, look, I got these
wooden nickels.
I got these wooden nickels. Like, they ain't gonna take those. But like, the night is just going off, and it goes off so well that for a second I kind of forget about the vampire plot, because I'm like, yo, the music is dope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Ryan lets you like get real comfortable, and he's like, okay, vampires.
Because it's like, all right, we bring in vampires for a second. You see what happens at the clan house, and then we at the juke joint. We're having a good time. The music is going on, everything's great, and they bringing out the spirits. And then it's like, remember what we told you about it attracting evil too?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, you see them show up with the little banjo trio.
Yeah, it was funny. Is like before they explained the like the one mind or the like shared experiences thing. You
Mhm.
kind of like when did they have time to rehearse this entire like she got the fiddle, he got the banjo,
Yo,
and the
and
other dude got a
they had their
guitar,
little
and it was on
movement,
point. I was
had
like,
their coordination.
when did y'all have time to rehearse this? This happens in the course of a day. And then it's like, oh, because
They had some
he turned
skills.
them, and so he gets to share his experience with them, so they pick up the skills.
Hmm.
Got it.
Yo,
Understood.
they actually they could sing.
Hmm.
I give them, you know what I'm saying. I was like, y'all do have talent. Your little banjo trio, all right. You know what
It's
I'm
not
saying.
gonna
I
play
mean,
here,
you
but
can't play here. Like,
it was cool.
and I love, you know what? I also love how straight up it was back then. They
Hmm.
came in and Smoke was like, you see what's going on up in here? It ain't for you.
Yeah,
Go back cross the tracks or back cross the river somewhere to
wherever you
your
came from.
side. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Go back because back in Jim Crow South, it was a lot more. Now they kind of play you off with in your current city, whoever's watching this, especially if you're in America, in your city, pay attention to railroads and highways and sometimes
Oh, like
rivers.
overpasses. Yeah,
Yeah. When you cross that overpass,
and then it just shifts.
yeah, it shifts.
You on the other side of
They let you
town.
know that money is over here and it's not
Mm,
over there. Or you wait till you pass that railroad. They let you know that money is over here and it's
hmm.
not over there.
Yeah.
It, like you cross that bridge, like shoot, a great example is Miami. I can't remember. Somebody will let me. It's like around Biscayne or whatever. Somebody, if you from around Miami or whatever, you'll let me know. There's this bridge that takes you to like the pastel Miami, like the Miami Beach and stuff,
The
like all the
pastel.
cool where they want to shoot Hollywood stuff. All right, there's this bridge, and the bus when I went there, the bus went across that bridge twice a day, once early in the morning and once in the afternoon. What do you think that bus ride is for? For the help.
Workers. Yeah.
Yeah, for the help. Y'all can come over here, trim our grass, sweep up our bathrooms and stuff, and then get out.
Hmm.
Cause I was like, why the bus only? I was like, oh. And like I was like, I peeped that like mad quick. On one trip to Miami, I peeped that out.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
I was
easy
like,
for us to spot. It's like oh, okay. Oh, this is okay. I see what the line
like,
is.
so there's only one bus trip to the pastel colors and
Yeah.
then one trip back. You ain't getting that Miami Vice. Oh no
Pastel
no.
colors.
I mean, you can walk over that bridge if you want. That's a
Walk.
walk.
Yeah.
So it's he let them know like, hey, go back across there with your people.
Hmm.
Go in and play the banjo over there. And they're like, oh no, we really want to play over here. It's like, nah. And unfortunately, Mary, Mary trying to help out. That's what said. Mary trying to help out, which I feel her because she
She's like,
cool.
you need money, so I
Because
need to go
Mary,
get you this money.
because we find out why Mary and her mother were even around black people
Hmm.
because I think she said her
Her
grandfather or her
mother,
father.
yeah, her mother's father was her
Yeah,
grandfather was
her
half black.
mother's father was black, was mixed, was
Yeah,
biracial. So that's how their family was probably shunned.
like and
And
integrated. Yeah,
yeah, and even if you look at Hailee Steinfeld, she definitely has a look where
she doesn't look all the way white.
she's not white. And
Like even
this
just regular Haley Steinfeld, it's like
yeah, she
you got
doesn't look white. She
some
and what I mean
ethnic
by that is
background in
um
your family.
look it up. There's a Benjamin Franklin wrote, I can't remember, he wrote this letter way back in the day talking about the delineation where
Mhm.
like Britain was like the true white people. And
Hmm.
then like after that it was like France and whoever, but like then you had the swarthy like Greek and people like, so he definitely laid it out. It was like basically like British people, Saxons, they were true white,
Oh,
and then
all right.
like everyone else was like
So
kind of white. And
I
like
pulled up
Benjamin
her.
Franklin did that way back in the day, so they can't get along over there. So they over here, once they were like, hold up, your daddy half black, y'all gotta go.
So Haley Steinfeld on her mother's side has Filipino and African American ancestry genes.
Ah,
But her dad's
yeah. So
side
she
is
would
just
not be.
straight Jewish. So yeah, so that's
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, even just looking at Haley Steinfeld, she don't look like
yeah. She's
white,
definitely
white.
she's here. Like she's accepted as white unless they start delineating for real, for real. But
Yeah.
unless they get on that,
Yeah, but
Benjamin Franklin.
they're
But
not
right now
hitting
they cool, they cool.
ancestry. Yeah.
But you see her trying to help, and I'm like, yo, it's a shame because she was actually trying to help.
Yeah, she's like,
And
you need money. They say they got money.
yep.
I'ma go get it.
And when she showed him the goal, even she was like, where'd you get
Yeah,
this money from? What kind of money is this?
that's them old Irish the
Mhm.
blooms.
He was like, look, dude, it's old money, but it still spins. She was like, all right, I don't know. And then they started
Nah, cause
acting a
you
little
try to
bit
spend
more
that joint in the
funny.
South, people gonna be like, "Where'd you get this from? Who did you rob?
Yeah,
I
like
have
where you
never
get,
seen this before.
yeah,
I
we've
don't care
never
if it's
seen this
real
kind
gold
of
or
money
not."
ever. Where's
Yeah,
money come from? Where you get found a treasure, like a lost treasure at a sunken ship? Like where?
because then
So
people start asking more questions. It's like, where can I get more? Like,
yeah,
bring me into
so
this.
that's the play that I'm sure he's used a lot of times. Is you
Yeah,
see gold, you see real gold, psh, and if you need money, shoot, you got real gold, all right. So even she is like, all right, after she sees the jewel, she's like, nah, bro, I'm good. But
she's
we
like,
see
"Nah,
him
y'all
take
weird.
flight, and it's
Go
over
away."
from there.
Yeah, because she
And
gets spooked after that, and she's like, "Nah, y'all weird. Get out of
yeah, like
here."
y'all, something's wrong. You're drooling and stuff. I'm cool. And then she even pulls out on him, and she's like, all right, I'm out. The only thing is, she turned her back. Never. Let this be a lesson to anyone. Never pull out on someone and then turn your back on them. Never do that.
Yeah,
Just never do that. Now, hopefully, you'll never have to pull out on anyone. But if you do,
if you pull out, you
don't
better be shooting.
don't turn your back on them. Please, please do not. Like, it's just not a good idea.
No.
But after that, it just all goes downhill in a cool and awesome way. Um, the downhill part that is my favorite is Grace. Here's why Grace is my favorite. Her murder slash death scene is awesome.
Yeah, it was that was a crazy shot. I was like, dang. Um,
Like the downfall of the night was crazy, but I love that shot. Like her being on fire while still,
like
like,
in so much
like
rage and pain.
yeah,
Like the way she died was like, I can see how that could happen. Obviously, you'd want to live because she had so much pent up rage because she was trying to get to her child, make sure her child was
yeah,
doing great. And they already took her husband, so she was just mad, and I want to go, I'm gonna kill these guys or kill these vampires
yeah, because they did
and get
threaten
back
her
to my
child.
kid.
They threatened her
Yeah,
child in a very open way.
and so that
But
amount of
I think
rage
Smoke
also
had a
led to their
point.
death.
Like they're not going there. They're still here.
Yeah.
Like
Oh no, he was right. But she couldn't
yeah,
really see past that. They already took her husband, who she sees outside as one of these things.
yeah.
And
And
they mentioned her daughter. Yeah.
sadly, when she said, "Come on in" or "Come and get it," and I turned to you. I was like, "Hold up, does that count?"
Yeah, I was
You were
like,
like, "Yeah." You were like,
yeah.
"Yeah." I was like,
Somebody
"Oh."
heard that and they about to come in.
I'm like, man, that that doesn't count.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
it
it
counts.
does,
Oh, it counts.
and then it was over from there,
Because
man.
she said something along the lines of, "Go ahead and come in here, motherfuckers." And it was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, they are the motherfuckers and they gonna come in. They coming right
they
in.
definitely gonna come in. They unfortunately they coming in, and it was awesome. The breakdown with like Delta Slim and his sacrifice shot. It was sad to see Annie go, but then knowing the history between her and Smoke and the child, and her saying like, I have somebody waiting for me. Like it was like, dang, it hurt, but it was like, man, this is touching. It was like, man, look, y'all ain't gonna make me care this much and then lose somebody mad fast.
Mhm.
I was hoping that they could make it out. I was hoping that at the end of the movie, Smoke and Annie could like maybe just hobble off and be okay. I mean, well, two people do make it,
Yeah.
but to a certain degree, Smoke and Annie are rejoined with their daughter. I believe it's their daughter. Um,
Yeah.
so it was tough to watch, but yeah, it happens fast. Like people are dropping like flies, and then the end scene when Sammy's basically on his own because Smoke is upstairs with his brother, and we think Smoke kills his brother.
Yeah.
Even I thought he killed his brother, and
Yeah.
then when Sammy hit Remick with the guitar, at first I didn't get. I was like, "What's the
Because
big
it was
deal?"
like, yeah, it was sliced in his head. It was like burning. He's screaming, and then like the whole vampire
Yeah,
clan starts screaming. And you're like, why are they screaming? Oh, it's Silver.
yeah, because I completely forgot. I mean, I remember the guitar, but with all this craziness going on, I'm not
Yeah,
thinking about.
everything's happening.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about, oh, there's silver in the guitar, and he hit him good because
Hmm.
that thing was lodged.
Yeah,
He
you could
was
think that joint
lodged
was
in
like a
his head.
sharp frisbee or something, because that joint was
Yeah,
just sliced up in his head. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
we got him.
Like
Got him on
Sammy
that
gave
joint.
him all he had, and then with the sun coming up, I mean, he got staked from behind. The sun coming up, it was an
Yeah, it
awesome
was.
way to kind of like wrap that night up.
Yeah.
So it like Ryan definitely knew how to like wrap the night up in a way where okay, it's believable, but we have high stakes. Because for a
Mm-hmm.
second, it was like, yo, okay, we know he lives, but it don't look like he got nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But that guitar came through, and then seeing Smoke wrap it up, the downfall of the grand opening, grand close.
Yeah.
Oh man, it it was one awesome night. I'll say that. Like, cause
Yeah, I mean,
even
up until like the vampire part, like everybody was having a great time.
yeah, everything was awesome. The only person that wasn't having a great time was the dude that was trying to cheat at the dice game. Everybody else was having fun.
Well,
Like,
I mean, he should
oh,
have
and the guy
been.
he cut. My bad.
Yeah, because he got sliced across the face.
Yeah,
And like
Smoke was
Smoke was
like,
kind of like, he's like trying to analyze him. Was like,
you gonna
yeah,
need
you
some
gonna need
stitches.
stitches. It's like, that's
Like it's
deep.
gonna hurt. Oh man, but for the most part, it seemed like kind of cool. And even in our sort of epilogue shot,
Mm.
we get Sammy saying before that night, before what happened, that was the best day of my life.
Oh
And
yeah,
he,
so you
it,
gotta build up the I guess prologue,
or the I guess the epilogue, yeah,
the
basically,
epilogue.
like
Yeah.
because we do get back to him seeing his dad,
Hmm.
and we find out that he did not give up the guitar. He actually stuck with it and decided to
He knew what he wanted.
leave the Delta and go somewhere else.
Hmm.
Which
So he went to the bigger cities,
yeah,
pursued music, and was successful.
yeah, very successful.
Had his
At
own
a
club
place
and everything.
called Perline's, which was the
Yep.
name of the woman that he had a one night, you know what I'm saying? He had that one magical night. Well, one magical
Oh.
and dangerous night, but he one night won nonetheless.
Hmm.
Cause it's like 1 second y'all was all loved up. Next one, she's burning in the flames of the sun. So I mean, hey, look, life comes at you fast.
I first.
It comes at you fast, man. Like what can you do? But yeah, in the epilogue, we find out that Stack and Mary have sort of lived happily ever after.
Yeah, because we never saw their deaths. So
Yeah, we never saw
apparently
the deaths. I
they've
just assumed they were
lived
dead.
they've lived a full human life at this point, but still
Yeah,
look and like they're in their late 20s, mid 30s.
Hmm.
Um, and I think at this time it's the 90s. It's 1992. And so Michael B. Jordan had
Yeah.
the did he have the step?
Yeah, I think he had the step. He
He
had
had
the
the step
step.
with a Coogee sweater, and then Haley
Haley had
Steinfeld
like the
was
cool
dressed.
jacket. She had like the
Yeah, I think it
cool
was like a
90s jacket.
zebra jacket with like the sleeves, like it's like shoulder pads. The sleeves was like halfway rolled up, so it was definitely like, yo, we in the 90s.
Yeah. Like we super 90s out right now.
He even had the what do you call it? The stack ring.
Oh yeah, he had the
Joint.
four-finger ring.
Yeah, where it says stack on it with
Yo.
the dollar sign.
So it's like to a certain degree, I kind of wonder what y'all been doing, just chilling.
Living, they just out here living like
I mean, because I mean, I guess they need blood. Do they need blood? I don't. I mean, they didn't explain the
had to be
physiology of
for.
vampires in this particular movie, so I
But I
don't
mean, it seemed
need to
like
continually have blood, or they just need
Ryan.
blood every now and then.
It seemed like Ryan followed like the traditional vampiric law type of stuff. So I'm guessing they feed every now and then
Yeah, like
enough
they
to
don't.
like sustain
They're not
themselves.
rabid like with the 30 Days of Night vampires. Like those guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but they just
Those
killing
guys are like
everybody.
rabid dogs. Like
Yeah, they just going for it.
yeah, they need blood like I don't know every day.
Yeah.
But the traditional vampire seems to need blood, I guess, like maybe once a week or something like that. It doesn't seem like they're super pressed if they don't
Hmm.
have to. But when I saw the epilogue and some people left before that, like
Yeah. So they lost
they
the
lost like a
actual story. They lost the full story
yeah, because this
because
wasn't
like
no
the
Marvel
credits hit.
stinger.
Yeah,
This
the credits
actually
hit, and you
mattered.
think, all right, this is the end of the movie, so I can leave.
Yeah.
But like after like the immediate, I guess principal cast credits,
Mhm.
then the story picks back up to show Sammy, who's probably what like late 80s,
Yeah,
early
probably like
90s, something like that.
either early 80s or something like that because we're to assume he was 17,
17. Yeah.
18-ish and 35.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so now in 92, so he's like 80s-ish or something
He
like
up
that,
there.
maybe.
But he owns his club, still playing music, still doing the blues. And apparently he's had quite the career in terms of like albums and everything, where he's had like an electronic phase, kind of like
Yeah,
Herbie Hancockish, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
do the jazz and then I'm gonna do this, electronic phase, and then he's had a career.
Hmm.
And so it shows him like at his bar, late night, everything's closing down. This door guy comes in, big burly dude, like, yo, it's two people outside. You know, they said they want to just come in for a minute and like hang out with you. They're talking about like kicking me like a couple $100 or whatever. And then Sammy's like, yeah. And it just so happens it's Stat and Mary. And they show up and they literally just catch up, have a conversation,
They just chill out for a second.
and chill out. And Stack puts it to him. He says, "Look, I promised Smoke that I was gonna let you live a full life, and then come see you, later on. But I promised him to allow you to live a full life. So this is why we've been away." Um, he's like, "But if you want, I can extend that." And Sammy's like, "Nah, I
Right.
think I've
He's like,
seen
nah.
enough of this place. I'm done.
He's like, I
I'm
even wake
good."
up with nightmares of that night. I still wake up with nightmares.
Yeah. And so,
But it was cool to get
it
his
was dope.
perspective on
Yeah.
him saying like, was it the best day for you? And he said before that night, he was like, yeah, it was. Because I mean, even for them, he said, we were free.
Yeah.
Smoke had his girl, I had my girl. The club was successful. People were, we had food, drink, great music. Everybody was having a good time. For that split second, everything was awesome.
Yeah. And
So
then, yeah, that was just a dope way to end it.
yeah,
It didn't end in violence. It was just like, all right, well, enjoy the rest of your life, and we're gonna continue to live for like centuries and
yeah,
eons until like vampire hunters, I don't know, or something like that, like come get us. But other than that, um, that was it.
yeah. And that thing, stepping through that as a viewer, not knowing what to expect except to survive the night film, I was definitely impressed. It was a delight. I can't wait to see it again. It's gonna be
Yeah,
it's,
even there was another part
mhm.
at the Juke Joint where Annie gets bit, and Annie calls out to Smoke to like put her out of her misery.
Mhm.
And you could see that Mary gets upset because she's like, "Oh, Annie's been bit. All we need to do is get Smoke, and we can all live forever." That's like you can kind of like see that's
Yeah.
what's going on in her head. So when Smoke puts Annie out of her misery, Mary screams out. And she's like, "What is he doing?" And then like Stat gets mad. He's like, "Get out of
Ah,
here." He's
because
like, "You get out of here."
I can imagine Stack and Mary being like, you know what? We turned them to, you know,
We
we
get to
all
live,
good.
yet eternity and be fine.
Yeah.
So like that was their like idea, and you could tell that they were like upset about it. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Like a awesome flick. I'm glad it exists. Yo, Ryan Coogler, hey, keep doing your thing, bro. Like, yo, hey, you done did it.
yeah.
Matter of fact, you don't have no. Ryan Coogler might need to
No,
get might have to start being put in the conversation because he don't got no duds. Even the movie,
yeah.
even the movie I
I don't
like
even
the
know if it's a
least.
start or if he's not in the conversation, he needs to be in the conversation.
Yeah, because
He don't need to start
even
being
the
in the
movie,
conversation. He needs to already be in the conversation.
yeah, because even the movie of his that I like the least is because someone unfortunately passed in the middle of like concepting the film.
Oh,
So
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
yeah, and then you had
Yeah,
tons of studio interference on how to handle it and stuff. So
yeah.
that's that's my least
Like
like
they did the
film of
best
his.
they could with the decisions that were
Yeah,
made outside of that
especially when
film.
they said we're not recasting him at all. We're not doing so. You got to like basically the awesome idea you had, just get rid of that
But I
and
imagine
do
like
something new.
he's touched on this a little bit, but he hasn't like fully fledged on it. But he was like the type of film it was going to be if Chadwick was still alive.
Mhm.
It was going to be a different film. Like it was going to be a great film. It was going to be another like $1 billion box
Yeah,
office slam dunk joint. Whereas not that Wakanda Forever wasn't a decent film or whatever, but it didn't hit as hard.
yeah.
Or if he was to recast, or if they were to recast, because I know some of the stuff is outside of him as well. With like a like my boy who's my front runner. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now.
What's he in?
Aldous Hodge
Oh
is my
yeah,
front
out is
runner.
hot. Yeah, because that's my pick too. Like we both look, we
Yeah.
both. Yo, but see now he got crossed now, so he chilling. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
Aldous Hodge,
Marvel need to make the right move.
man, Aldous Hodge. Like I
Marvel need to
said,
make the right move.
man,
I'm
look,
telling you.
y'all better stop fronting.
If that
But
brother ain't the most Black Pantherist
man,
actor out
look,
right now, y'all don't give it
bruh,
to him. You better be upset.
thank you. But anyway, let me throw it. I'm gonna throw it to you. Final thoughts, and of course, where can they find
Nowhere right now, but
you?
you will soon. We cooking up some stuff. Um, AI has really leveled the playing field for a lot of different people. So we gonna make some things work. Be on the lookout for some special projects coming up.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Any final thoughts on the film in general?
Go see it. I'm gonna see it a second time. Definitely, it's dope. Ryan Coogler surprised me in a way that I didn't think I was gonna be surprised. It was more he surprised me with story and storytelling
Hmm.
than like typically like films will surprise you with like, oh, here's the twist and here's the turn of it. But it wasn't really a twist and turn. He just gave you more in depth of what's happening and how it's happening, and being able to visualize how things make you feel and how things are, you know, how things transcend time in a sense. That was the surprising part. That's probably why I have such a hard time trying to like explain the takeaway from this film,
Yeah.
because the way he did it was, I feel like it's something I haven't gotten before in a film like this.
All right, word. Well, here's my final thoughts. Here's the takeaway of this film. Don't trust white people when they come to your door. No,
With a fiddle and a banjo, talking about they
eh,
want to play music.
If a singing trio of white people roll up in the middle of the night, nah, bruh. With that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Until the next time, where I see you, you see me, and everybody see everybody. We're just saying peace.
Yeah.
We out.